Hello and welcome to another edition of the NAG How To series. And this month we are going to talk about how to be an outstanding part of your community. And I'm very proud to be joined by Laura Varn, who is the Vice President of People and Culture and Communications for a really fast growing, great convenience store company called Parkland USA. They've been around for a while, very experienced. And Laura was a featured speaker at our NAG conference. So nice to see you again, Laura. How are you?
Thank you. It's great to be here again. Thanks, John.
You guys, as I mentioned, are growing fast and you're very, very active in the community. And I think you guys just participated in the NACS initiative, the 24/7 day initiative. Why don't you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, we sure did. We were so honored to be a part of this really amazing event where it blends together the impact of the local store with the first responders. I mean, they're so instrumental in everything that we do that they do that makes this community, what it is. And so we were really honored to be a part of that. We gave all first responders, nurse, EMTs, et cetera, with a badge or some identification of free coffee or a fountain drink that day. And we also gave a $5,000 donation to the American Red Cross, which was really the participating, place where the donations went to help continue all the work that they do. It's estimated that about 30,000 people a day get services from the American Red Cross. So incredibly important, and I think really is a great way for C-stores to show their thanks and appreciation for that group of everyday heroes.
And you bring up a good point, because even prior to the pandemic, the convenience store industry has been very giving and very involved in the communities it serves, doing just the work that you mentioned. And since the pandemic, C-stores have really established themselves as indispensable partners in the community. So this is nothing new for you guys, I'm sure. So why don't you tell us a little bit about Parkland's work in the community and the things you do?
Yeah, I'll tell you, John, the stores are such an essential part of the local communities. And one of the things that I believe makes Parkland USA a bit unique is that we are not a nameless, faceless international corporation. We believe very strongly in making an impact in the local communities where we live, work, and play. And we have 4 values at Parkland. We have safety, respect, integrity, and community. And community means so much to us. One example I'll give you is we have this amazing initiative called Parkland Pledge. And what Parkland Pledge is Parkland will give every single employee $250 all the way up to $500 each year to donate to whatever charity or nonprofit speaks to their heart.
Every employee in the company.
Every employee in the company. And I can tell you, this resonates so much with employees because it's a very visual way for employees to live that value of community. And last year, for example, we gave over $800,000 to over 1,500 nonprofits. Animal services, human health, health services were some of the top organizations. But it matters to us that we are investing in the communities that matter the most to employees. So we're not an entity that chooses 1 or 2 organizations and we pull all the money to there. We're very intentional about staying uber local, and investing in the local communities is one of the ways to do that. And again, it's employee led, which we love.
So how does that impact employee morale? I would imagine it's a wonderful experience for them to have the opportunity to donate to a charity, because especially as inflation hits and the recession looms, being able to make a donation isn't going to be for everybody. So this is a good way for them to feel good about themselves.
It really is. That's been one of the most rewarding outcomes of this, certainly in addition to helping the community and doing good work. But the feedback we get from employees and what a boost it is to morale is just incredible. There's one employee who reached out to me a couple months ago and said, besides raising my family, this program is the most meaningful thing I've ever done in my career. And that really took me back a good bit. But this person takes the money and they use it for their child's Little League program. And then they also coach. And so it gives them a great ability to help foster, leadership and teamwork with the next generation of leaders. And Parkland helps contribute to that. So I just say that as one example, but the feedback we get is tremendous. While it's an annual event, we are doing a competition this summer with the U.S. employees because they love to get very competitive with that. And it's really taken on a life of its own with people making sure they donate all their Parkland money. Plus, if they volunteer, they get more money to donate to a charity of their cause. And it's a key part of the culture and who we are. So employee morale just goes through the roof with it.
That's great. So I was going to ask you, why is this work important to Parkland? And it sounds like you almost answered that question. It sounds like the employee morale and helping your employees feel good about themselves is a big reason.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, giving back to the community is just good for everybody. And it helps our customers, it helps the community, and it helps our employees. So it's really interesting whenever we hire new employees or whether we acquire a company. This Parkland Pledge program is one of the things that really resonates with people. They're just very excited that we have this. They can't wait to participate in it. And again, the money grows each year based on their years of service. So it feels good to give back to the community where you live.
Great. How about in this time of short staffing? Every retailer I talk to down 1, 2, 5 employees. Do programs like this help with recruiting and staffing? I would imagine
it absolutely does. It is one of the key points that we talk about when we're recruiting for C-store employees. And in fact, when we talk to them during the interview process, we let them know this is one of the big benefits they can take advantage of on day one. So it's available for all of our full-time employees, and it has helped tremendously with recruiting and also with retention.
Very nice. Now, you mentioned a little bit of a competition. Is that between the U.S. stores and the Canadian stores?
It might be next year. Right now, it's just among the U.S. stores. And so the winner of that will get a full-blown family festival weekend where we will bring in, food and drink and music and Parkland swag and just really celebrate the employees and thank them for all they're doing to help the community.
And maybe invite members of the trade press to come out and
perhaps we'll see about that. No, love to have you.
Thank you. You mentioned from the employees' perspective. How about from the community and the organizations? I would imagine that they appreciate it. Do you ever hear back from them?
We do, and that is just so heartwarming. We get letters back sometimes from some of these organizations, and they're just so grateful because when you think about it, sometimes we have employees that band together if they really feel passionately about a local community, whether it's the homeless shelter or maybe a pet shelter, et cetera. And we get letters back about how much of a big difference the amount of money goes to them. Because when you think about these small nonprofits and charities in local areas, especially some of the smaller communities, a $2,000 donation or $5,000 donation can make a real big difference to them. And so that's it's really great to hear from the nonprofits that what we're doing is making a really big difference for them.
And I would imagine with things like little leagues or dance programs, when you're reaching the younger kids, it's a great way to get them into the store and really create customers for life, giving them a fountain drink or their parents a coffee. I mean, they grow up trusting your stores and having a good feeling about your brand.
Well, and that certainly is a really positive benefit from this. Again, the number one thing is to help the community. And if they feel that our convenience stores are an essential part of their community, that's a win for us too, right? We want them to know that it certainly is a safe haven where they can come and hang out or get a coffee or perhaps work for us one day. But that, I'm very much reminded that during the pandemic, C-stores were one of the essential businesses that were open. And I think that was a real eye opener maybe for folks outside of our industry of the value and services we provide. I think we provide that invisible thread that connects the community together every day.
And it really is, really woven into the fabric of America that when there is a natural disaster or something like the pandemic, people's first instinct is to get to the local convenience store. That's, the local Parkland, the local C-store because they're always open, because the gas pumps will be on, they'll have milk and eggs. They come to expect it. And I think, just from gauging in the communities and speaking to other retailers, I think more than ever, customers really started to understand that during COVID. When all these other businesses were shut down, the light was always on at your stores. And I think they appreciate that. And when you combine that with community programs like you're doing, it's just a home run. It's got to make everyone feel good.
Well, there's nothing like a feeling of having somebody that's got your back and that is always there for you. And we hope to be that for our customers. And I think that feeling is very, very mutual as well. And not just for us, but I think with all convenience stores across the country, there's a real sense of place and value and community spirit that's irreplaceable.
Now, you are you're a professional at this. Obviously, you've been doing this a long time. For chains that aren't that active or that talk about doing stuff and they really haven't crossed that line and been able to do anything, what advice would you give them to get started? Maybe to, before they're full out running, but to take baby steps. What can they do to create a program to be more active in the community?
Yeah, I think certainly informally, there's so many good organizations and charities that need help from a volunteer perspective. And so I would think that's a very easy lift to have employees, just start volunteering with either organizations that matter to them, or if a company wanted to, pick a few that matter as well. But I think, the best advice I can get is to get engaged. You're going to find a very receptive audience. It is very easy to do, whether it's something as formal as what we have with Parkland Pledge or something very informally. But reaching out, getting engaged, finding out what the community needs are. And that can easily be done through many communities have a nonprofit association, which is a great place to start. What are the most pressing needs and how does that line up with the values of your organization? That's the sweet spot. Whether it's getting in touch with that or the local Chamber of Commerce, how can you find out what the needs are and where you can best make a difference? And I think things will grow from there.
Sure. And their employees probably have some good ideas and good causes.
Absolutely. And those are the kind of employees we all want, right? Employees that are really passionate about making the communities a better place. Sure, they have a lot of great ideas to contribute as well.
Labor is a tough sell right now. I think a lot of chains really are still struggling, but the employees they do have they seem to be engaged, and I'm sure you're seeing the same thing, that they're engaged and they really want to make a difference and provide a service.
Yeah, I agree. Labor is certainly the top issue facing everyone, and these types of opportunities to further embed themselves into the community, I think, create those sticky relationships that, again, hopefully benefit the community and also hopefully help them, have a long career with your organization.
Great. Well, thank you very much for your time, Laura. There's some really good takeaways. So if you'd like to reach out to Laura, if I could impose upon you,
Sure. No, happy
to help. And if there's any questions that we have at NAG, we'd be happy to help as well. On behalf of Laura Varn, I'd like to thank you all for tuning in and listening. And we hope you could join us next month as NAG explores how to. Have a good afternoon, everyone.